We're at tomatoes in this clip, and of course tomatoes are just such a variety, but we're here about planting tomatoes, isn't it,
Yeah.
Susan?
Now this is a cordon one that's going to grow up, and when it's been planted it's been given a string and a cane to grow up.
Right,
And you can just see this is quite clever here. The string is attached to the cane and it's just wound round the plant as the plant goes to keep it in.
And the cane is strong enough there to
the
hold
cane
the weight
is well,
of this?
well in, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, when you're growing cordon tomatoes like this, it varies from variety to variety if they're bush ones. But you have to side shoot them.
If they're bush ones now?
Well, these are cordon ones that grow up.
Grow up. Now, you mentioned a bush one. This is a bush one.
This is a little bush patio tomato. So this one you wouldn't do what we call side shooting. You just let him grow away and do his
thing. Now, you feel that this pot is too small for this?
I think that pot is too small. He needs to go into a slightly bigger pot because he's going to grow about so high by so wide.
Okay, perfect.
And so good moisture retentive compost.
Okay.
Now, you'll see here the truss. This is what we call a truss, which
is
the
that's
bunch
what a truss
of the,
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see this will have flowered. There's a flower up there.
Yeah.
And this is a truss. So when the truss starts to form, the fruit starts to form, you start feeding.
Aha.
Now you can use a liquid comfrey feed, which means you've got comfrey leaves in your watering barrel, whatever. Or you use a tomato.
No, wait, now that means absolutely nothing to
we'll
me.
talk about that another time. But you buy a thing called a tomato fertilizer, a high potash fertilizer.
Oh yes, yeah.
And don't overfeed. Don't assume that if you feed twice as much as it says on the tin, you'll get more. You won't. You'll probably kill it with kindness.
Okay.
So just
do as it says
every couple of weeks or every week, whatever it says.
And how moist should the tomato plants?
Tomatoes need regular watering. Now in here, obviously, they need to be on a very hot day. You might even need to water twice. Who knows? But they need regular watering. If they're allowed to dry out, what happens is the fruit will split.
Oh, I see.
Or what will also happen, you'll get a thing called blossom end rot, which is this end here of the tomato where the blossom has come off, will start to rot.
Because it's drying up.
Because you irregular watering.
Okay.
Now, we were talking about side shooting for these cordon tomatoes. The side shoots are these here, which grow out of the leaf axil.
Oh, yes.
And you just literally just pull them out.
Because they're using energy, is that why?
If you left these grow, you'd end up with leaves and branches all over the place.
Oh, and doesn't do
the energy of the plant would be going into producing all this foliage and extra branches instead of putting its energy into your tomatoes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I have a story. My father used to leave me in charge of his tomato plants when he'd go away on holidays. And of course, as a young person, you know, you don't really think of tomato plants. So he'd be gone about 10 days and I'd suddenly go, oh, the tomato.
Oh dear.
And I'd go down and they'd be hanging over. So I would get the hose and I would turn it on and flood the place.
Oh dear.
So, do you know, I can't remember whether they survived or not, but it really was very funny.
Not the ideal way of keeping tomatoes.
So don't leave your teenagers in charge of your tomato plants, whatever you do.